So this is a strange parenting advice because it's also sort of a marriage advice. But I think one of the best things you can do for your kids is to show the parents having a positive relationship. I think it, for one thing, it models good behavior for the children when they see the parents, the way they're interacting with each other. But also, I've seen enough examples where children are in a household where the parents don't have a good relationship, and it makes the kids feel very insecure and nervous, and it affects them for the rest of their life. But when the parents have a very strong relationship, I feel like it reflects onto then a strong relationship with the kids, and the kids also feel very secure and that they're part of something stable. And that confidence itself, I think, is so important for children to have.
This advice might seem very simple, but subhanAllah, after years of working with many families and many children, I found that the best thing the parents can do to their children is to show them a lot of love. And as I said, it's very simple, but it means that you give them time. That's the best way to show love to the children. Spending time with them, doing things that they like, you know. And I feel like this will give your children confidence, because they know that they are important enough that you give them your time.
I would remind the statement of Sayyidina Ali, you know, فُلَاعِبْهُ سَبْعًا, basically, أَدِّبْهُ سَبْعًا وَآخِهِ سَبْعًا, that the first 7 years, give them love, affection, play with them, get them emotionally attached to you. Then أَدِّبْهُ سَمًا, then discipline them for the next 7 years. Disciplining does not mean beating them up or using harsh words. Discipline means whenever there is something wrong, explain it and be consistent in implementing that. No, it's not going to be happening. I would say the last phase, which is Akhihi Saban, for the next 7 years, which is from 14 to 21, become their friends. Don't treat them as if now you are the sole authority, and don't play around. Just basically, it's not childhood, it's the adolescence, and in adolescence people like to be treated as equal, as friends.
Sometimes it's good to just be a friend and take off the parent hat. I think that if they did that, they'd have a closer relationship with their children, and ultimately their influence on their children would change, rather than somebody that just sets borders and boundaries, somebody that gives them wings.
Empower their curiosity. And by that I mean, I would want to show them how to embrace the seen and the unseen. And I would want them to never lose that sense of wonder, because with it comes a sense of humility, connectedness, a love of learning, I hope, and ultimately a path to God.
We were created to worship our Lord, and our children should understand that. And as we have children, it's our responsibility to help them into their piety. May Allah help us to create good examples in ourselves that are examples of piety that our children will be able to follow. So you can usually see a child that didn't grow up in a household that doesn't have cussing or tattoos not get the tattoos or cuss, but in the households that cuss, the child is more prone to cussing.
Raising your kids starts and ends at home. Your kids are like a sponge. They absorb everything they see initially in the first 7, 10 years or so. They basically mimic you. If you raise your voice, you're talking to them, you see that they'll be raising their voice talking to their siblings or to you back. So having that understanding that if I want my kids to do something, I better be doing it first.
I love to hug my kids. I have a belief in the power of touch. I think that there are studies that show that just humans in general, modern humans, we don't get enough touch. So your loved ones, those that you're allowed to touch, I'm a big believer in touch them frequently. So when I see my kids and I got the opportunity, I'm always just hugging them and just letting them know physically, like, man, you're really important.
Hug them. Hug them. No matter what they do, and just love them. And you could sit here and talk about discipline all day long. raising them in this and molding them and shifting them and shaping them and whatever else, but just hug them. It means so much to them to just be held by their parents. Sometimes they don't need a lecture. They don't need to be told what to do or what they're doing right or wrong. Sometimes they just want to be held by their parents.